Elisabeth of Bohemia was a princess. That sounds great. Except she was born in 1618 in Heidelberg, Germany. This was at the start of the 30 Years' War, one of the most devastating and brutal wars in history.
She was a granddaughter of the King of England and Scotland, and one of her forebears was the King of Denmark.
That's Sarah Hutton, a visiting professor at the University of York.
And I have a great interest in women philosophers, especially those of the 17th century.
So we're in the right time period and on the right show.
Elizabeth was educated more or less the same as her brothers, but she, from a very early age, was obviously very intelligent, very studious. They spoke many languages, and she spoke them best of all. And she was known among her siblings as La Grecque, which means the Greek, because she studied classical languages.
As a woman, Elisabeth grappled with personal sorrow and the struggle to pursue philosophy.
The title, Elisabeth of Bohemia, arises from the fact that her father rather unwisely accepted to be elected king of what is now Czech Republic, Bohemia. But this led to wars, and he was overthrown very quickly, and his own lands in Germany were overrun, and he had to flee with his family, and they lived in exile in the Netherlands for all of Elizabeth's upbringing.
The 30 Years' War, that was at everybody's mind.
That's Eric Jan Boos, a postdoc at the Erasmus School of Philosophy in Rotterdam, the Netherlands.
The whole of Western Europe suffered from this terrible war, which waged primarily in the German countries and Austria, Hungary, Poland. It was a terrible war.
Of course, most people know Elisabeth from the letters she exchanged with René Descartes, beginning in 1643.
She was very important for Descartes' own philosophical development, in a way. She enticed answers from Descartes, which he didn't give anyone. To put it another way, he wrote her letters. He didn't write to anyone else on topics he didn't discuss in that detail with anyone else.
In 1667, Elisabeth became an abbess, the head of a convent where Quakers, Labadists, and other Protestant sects could find refuge.
Her final days were spent in Herford as Herford abbess.
Sabrina Ebersmeyer is a professor of philosophy at the University of Copenhagen. She says that as Elisabeth was facing death, religion became more important to her. She became sick, people tried to cure her, and she became engaged in a letter exchange on religious matters.
Unfortunately, she decided also to burn all her papers before she died, thinking that all this worldly fame and glory that was based on her earlier exchanges with famous philosophers, that was just not worthwhile. Stay in front of God in the end.
But luckily, we do have her correspondence with Descartes. And for people like Ebersmeyer, reading those letters is uplifting.
With all this hostility towards intellectual women and all these problems she was facing, she still managed, to express her thought and come up with very original and very interesting arguments that still inspire today people to think more about.
Ebersmeyer says that in Germany, where she's from, Elisabeth has always been kind of famous as a historical figure. But in the last few decades, she's come to be known as a philosopher, a princess living and thinking in tough times. For Philosophy Talk, I'm Holly J. McDede.